Osceola, I can see you, but I can't hear you at all. I'm not sure if you're saying anything. You're muted at the moment.
Okay, so now can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna turn off my phone. Okay.
I can't see all of your face, Osceola.
Help me.
You have to sit up a little higher.
Because I can't, oops. I can't see myself when I'm doing this. I can only see my prop.
We can't see your nose or your mouth.
Okay.
And
That's
Howard
better.
says that the host has stopped our video. Is that correct? Did you want that?
Who's
Yes, our
talking?
videos have been
Booker.
stopped.
Oh, well, that's voice. That's Patsy's voice.
Oh, that's Patsy. Okay, hi, Patsy. Okay.
Booker's video off.
No, he's not on screen. No, all the screens are dead right now because the technician has turned the screens off because he's bringing people in. Okay.
Yeah.
So technically, it hasn't started. You see, they're on a different link from us. Those attending are in a completely different link from what we are.
Okay.
And Chad will tell me when to get started.
All right, we are ready.
Tell me when to go and I'll start.
All right, go for it. You can start.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you so very much for coming to our 2023 Thomas Music Study Club competition. I'm Osceola Davis, president of the Thomas Music Study Club. Now, before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about our club, our history. Our founder of the club was, of the Thomas Music Study Club was Blanche K. Thomas. She was a composer, choral conductor, an entrepreneur in her own right, and was among the first graduates of color from the Juilliard School of Music here in New York. She continued her education at the Westminster Choir College in New Jersey, where she majored in choral conducting. She loved children, though she and her husband, Joseph Thomas, had none of their own. But she encouraged the young ones, teaching them music and its fundamentals between her workplace at Howard University in DC during the week and at her home on weekends here in New York. She composed and mentored promising composers. She taught piano and had a traveling youth ensemble performing throughout the New York vicinity. Often, she performed some of their own compositions with much success. In 1938, Blanche K. Thomas was invited to join the National Association of Negro Musicians and was really made head of the youth department. The next year, in 1939, she renamed her own organization from the Thomas Music Study Group to the Thomas Music Study Club as we know it today. It is our desire to maintain its beginning purpose, which is to encourage promising young talents of color and composers of color, and being a launching block to the National Association of Negro Musicians national competition is a path we are taking today here in our local plateau. Our scholarship chair, Khadijah Evans Bay, will take it from here. Khadijah? You're
Khadijah,
muted.
can you unmute? We can't hear you.
Good afternoon. I am Khadijah Evans Bay Scholarship Chair. Thank you so much for attending. We are so pleased as well as honored to be able to present to you today two very accomplished and talented young musicians, violinists. We are all coming to you from our respective locations via Zoom, and the audience is viewing this live stream competition on YouTube. Each contestant will be performing two pieces from two categories. The categories are Black composers of any time period and any work from a classical genre, any time period as well. The contestants may choose the order in which they perform their repertoire. The first place winner of this branch competition will be advancing to the regional competition. The winner of the regional competition will then advance to the national competition. There are 3 judges and 1 alternate judge. The adjudicators are now in a separate breakout room where they will remain until they have heard each contestant and have reached a decision. The Thomas Music Study Group President Osceola Davis Smith will be introducing and chatting with the judges so that you can learn a little bit more about them. This will be done right before the winners are announced. Now, without further delay, I would like to present our first contestant, Caitlin. Please introduce yourself.
Just one moment, Ms. Khadijah. I'll put you in the
Yes.
room so that you can bring them in.
name is Caitlin Edwards, and I'll be performing sonata and also a solo violin piece, theme and variations. Thank you.
Before she starts, can we let her know that I'm not sure if it's just on my end, but everything she said was breaking up, so it's not coming
Right.
through clearly.
Can't hear a thing.
Oh, I can try again.
Just a,
Are you
yeah,
able to
just
hear
a
me right
moment.
now?
I think your audio was trying to catch up. So can we just have a test of your voice? Just say hello to everyone. Let's see if it's working.
Hello, hello. Can you all
Okay.
hear me?
Can everyone hear now?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes,
If you
everything
wouldn't
is
mind,
good.
Caitlin, start again and introduce yourself and your pieces.
Yes, sorry for the difficulties. My name is Caitlin Edwards, and I will be performing Violin Sonata by Irene Britton Smith. And second, I will be performing Theme and Variations for Solo Violin by Brian Raphael Neighbors. I hope that was okay. Did that translate? Sound is good?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
Chad, there is absolutely no sound. She's muted now. We can't hear anything. Chad? Osceola, can somebody?
Right, I don't know what he was saying. He was saying the problem is on her end. That
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's not him. Well, he's probably trying to get it straight now. Reason why, because I just texted him again and he answered me back and said it's on. That's probably why she stopped.
Yeah, was I muted the whole time?
I don't think she
Not-
stopped. I
Not
think
the
that
whole time.
They're talking right now.
The connection kind of, I guess, degraded. And so at one point we lost you, and then it just showed a mute sign on your, on your picture there.
Mm.
So I don't know, Miss Osceola. I don't know if you want her to pick up at a particular point or how.
It was interrupted kind of throughout, but rather than have her do the whole thing again, why doesn't she just start with this, I think with this movement and just try to go from there? Does it make sense what I said? Can you hear
I'll
me?
start on. Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I see you. I
Mhm.
wave back to you too. Yes.
Okay, I'll start
Yes.
with the third movement.
Oh, okay, okay. We didn't hear much of the second. Would you like to do the second again?
Whatever you'd like to do.
How-
You could do like that, maybe the return in the middle of the second.
Sure.
I mean, whatever you'd like to do, but
Start wherever you feel comfortable, sweetie.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. Tell us where you're gonna start and, okay.
I'm going to start actually in the middle of the second movement. So you'll hear the middle section and then it returns to that A theme towards the
Okay.
end.
Have fun, girl. Do your thing.
Thank you. So here's the third movement. Hopefully the sound is. The next piece I'm going to play is Theme and Variations for solo violin by Brian Raphael Neighbors. Am I good to go, Ms. Davis?
Carry on.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Khadijah, please.
Thank you so very much, Caitlin. We enjoyed your performance immensely. I'm not able to, my video is not on. Thank you so very much, Caitlin. We enjoyed your performance immensely. Is there anything you would like to say?
Oh, just thank you all for having me. And I'm looking forward to enjoying the rest of the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we will proceed with our next contestant, Savion. Savion, please introduce yourself.
Excuse me. So, like we did before, we'll pop over into the participants room, and then we'll bring Savion over. Just one moment.
While he's getting ready to do that, maybe when Chad comes back, can we ask him, is there a way for the next contestant, being Savion, to be center screen, like the whole screen be just him, so that we can see more? Because at the moment we are seeing everybody and the screens are smaller.
Just go to speaker on your computer, click speaker, and he should come up center screen on your computer.
Okay.
Correct, Ms. Davis. So at the top right hand, there's a button that says View, and if you click that, it'll give you the option to go between Gallery or Speaker. And once you click Speaker, then that will put the performer on this. They'll have the screen to themselves.
Thank you.
All right, just one moment. We'll switch the rooms. They'll have the screen to themselves.
Savion, you may introduce yourself when you're ready.
Hello. Hi, can you all hear me? Great. Hi, I'm Savion Washington. And I guess I just introduce the pieces that I'm playing today. I'll play the first movement of the Korngold Violin Concerto. And then I will play the second movement of the William Grant Still Sonata for violin piano, mother and child. Okay. Let's start. Are they saying anything? No,
Start whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Now the second movement of the William Grant Still. You have to turn the sound back on.
Now the judges will decide, they'll go off in to their breakout rooms. And if you can bring Caitlin back, you and Caitlin will have a conversation with another of our committee members, Mary Hines. Mary, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, take it away.
Okay, I will. I need my video to come on,
You're right.
and then I'm ready.
Right. We need Caitlin too. Where's Caitlin?
Just a moment while I move the judges. And,
Okay, fine. Good.
Hi there. Hi.
We're sorry we had that difficulty while you were playing. It was beautiful, both of you. But this is Mary, so we'll wait for our technician to set up everything. And this is a first for us too. We're learning as we go along. It's a beautiful experience. Our technician will let us know when we're ready to go. He's moving the judges.
all right, just quick check to make sure all the judges are where they need to be and out of this room. I only see Caitlin Savion, Miss Khadijah Osceola, Miss Hines, and I see Patsy still there. She's supposed to be moving over in a second, right? That's one of
Yeah.
our judges, correct?
Right. Patsy's Booker's wife. Yeah. So it's her, Rashweda's Booker.
Got it. So that's been moved.
Okay.
Waiting for a confirmation on their end. But everybody else is there, so I think that you can proceed.
Well, can you put Khadijah in there too so she can hear their decision? Because she will be making the announcement.
Yes, I can. All right, I believe that's everyone.
And Mary's camera isn't on. Mary,
Yes, turn
Can
my
you get-
camera on now.
yes.
There we go.
Good, and I'll turn mine off. Okay.
Okay. Wow, I mean, I don't know what to say. Both of you blew me away. full transparency, it was just absolutely phenomenal. I had to get that out. I'm Mary Hines, and I'm part of the National Council of Negro Musician Scholarship Committee of 2023. And in order for our viewers to gain an insight of your lives as contestants, I will be conducting switches. So I'll start with the first question, and I will start with Caitlin. Some of the questions I'll ask you will be the same, and then some of them will be different. So Caitlin, I'll start with you. What has been your most memorable performance in your career?
Okay, that's a hard question. Recently I had the opportunity to perform with the Recollective Orchestra, an all-Black orchestra at the Hollywood Bowl as a celebration of Juneteenth. And it was beautiful, looking across the stage and seeing, folks that look like me all together to play music, and also collaborating with really popular Black artists. So it was a sense of unity that brought, thankfully, music has been such a great journey for me, and I've been able to meet people like Savion and make music with him, and other great Black musicians. So yeah.
And Savion, I'll let you say a question. What has been the most memorable performance in your career? Why?
Most memorable. Yeah, definitely a difficult question. But, at least the first thing that comes to mind is I think it was back in high school, actually. I did the Eastern Music Festival, and actually Caitlin also did it, I think the year before I went. But we played the Ein Heldenleben tone poem by Richard Strauss. And it basically, that concert and that performance and that piece is really what set in motion my actual desire to pursue music professionally. It's like I already kind of wanted to and was on my way doing it, going to a performing arts high school in Tampa, Florida, actually. But going to that festival and having it be so intensive, and you're learning concert programs every week and having to do lessons and all this stuff, and then playing that being the very first concert that we do, and it ended up being like my favorite piece, and we played it and it was amazing. It just felt great. It was like, this is what I want to do. So that was kind of a solidifying concert.
I'm so glad that was your inspiration. All right, Caitlin, next question is you. In mentoring BIPOC youth with the Chicago Musical Pathways Initiative, what advice have you given the youth to further their classical music ambitions?
Yes, so I work with middle schoolers, but most recently seniors who were looking to go into college for music. I stress organization. So making sure that you write out, plan every practice session, but then also realizing that you're human first. So you have to take times to take a break, rest your hands, rest your body. You come first. Music is, second, but ultimately you should take care of yourself. And that's one thing I stress to my mentees.
Next question is yours. As a multi-talented performer, violinist, singer, and actor, what experiences prompted you to pursue all three areas of the arts?
Interesting. Actually, I've kind of always been doing those three. Like I said, I went to a performing arts high school, so then I was surrounded by a lot of people. Our high school was like the only one to actually have a live pit orchestra for the music theater shows and stuff. So that was a very interesting experience to have all the way back then. But really kind of was pushed me into now calling myself an action, like putting that out as not only a violinist but a singer actor. actually comes from at the September of 2020. I actually had an accident and I broke my shoulder blade, my left shoulder blade, and I couldn't play violin for like a year and a half almost. Doing physical therapy, having surgeries, all this kind of stuff. It was really, really tough. And through that experience and not being able to play, I just like, it solidified in my mind that I really just love performing, no matter what kind of avenue that is. I love the violin and I'll never stop playing the violin. And that's what I want to do. I love it. But it was just one of those experiences of like, okay, if I can't play the violin anymore, what would I do? And the only thing that kept coming to mind is like, I have to do something arts or music wise. So I basically spent all of 2021 just kind of auditioning and for singing things and all these different places, and just to kind of doing it and getting used to it and working on my voice and working on a whole bunch of things more using the energy that I had just left grad school for violin, using all that mental energy of like practice every day, do this, got to do that, using all that energy towards singing and auditioning. It's kind of, I shifted that. And then once I actually got something, singing on cruise ships and stuff, I was able to do that and feel like, oh, this is really nice. I actually enjoy doing this. And then being able to come back to the violin and doing both of them, that's just kind of the journey I've taken over the last 3 years, really, or two and a half years, I would say.
Yeah, the next question is yours. Why do you feel that it's so important to bridge the gap between your culture and classical music?
Yes, so growing up, I often felt like going into youth orchestra and different festivals that I kind of had to leave who I was and who I was culturally behind because it didn't, I guess, fit within the artist or violinist. Now I realize that no, I'm bringing my whole self into these rooms, and it's important because it's part of who I am as a musician that I bring these things together. And also for other young, Black kids, Black musicians who want to not only play classical, but bridge the music that, they enjoy listening to. That's, part of their culture. For me, it was gospel music and R&B and neo soul. But yeah, I'm a firm believer of bringing your full self into spaces and yeah, just going with it. I hope that answered the question.
Maybe on the next question is yours. What are your future aspirations as a violinist, singer, and actor?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question?
What are your future aspirations as a violinist, a singer, or as an actor? Do you have any future projects?
Any project use? Sorry, it's
Do you have any future projects in terms of the arts that you're working with?
violinist. My I would say first, some of my current favorite violinists are like Julia Fischer. She's a German violinist. Augustine Hadley. I've actually met him and talked to him and seen him live more than any other violinist, actually. But he's also one of the best in the world. And as an old guard, I love David Oistrakh as well as a violinist, and Nathan Milstein. funny enough, I don't know if I have any particularly like in acting inspirations. But as one of my favorite singers of all time was Michael Jackson. Big, huge fan. I used to have like a giant portrait of him above my bed as a kid. More recently, getting into the professional world, I've just gotten more into Stevie Wonder and and jazz artists, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole, it's just a wide range of people. As any current projects coming up, I can't really think of any, I'll be honest, at the moment. It's a bit of I'm kind of in a bit of a downtime right now. But I mean, at the end of the month, I'm going back out with my group. We're 4 singers. And so we go out on the cruise ships. We're going out again at the end of this month, and then we, be out there for 2 weeks performing on the ships, and then be back. And then, actually, now I think about it. And then after I come back, I'm playing with the ADCA, Association of Dominican Classical Artists, in April with Adan Vasquez. So I'm playing with him in this chamber orchestra in April, and then more things later in the year.
I think this sounds like a quick question. Do you have any music artists that you look up to or as your inspiration? And do you have any future projects?
Yes. So I look up to a lot of different musical artists, specifically violin. Itzhak Perlman, Julia Fisher, Stephanie Matthews. I look up to her as both a violinist, but as a businesswoman as well. Jessica McJunkins, Chelsea Green, Kelly Hall Tompkins, of course. And do I have things coming up? I'm heading on tour Tuesday with Sphinx Virtuosi. Then when I get back, I'm presenting a live concert of my album As Hell with string orchestra and band here in Chicago. And then after that, I'm going to Coachella, where I'm collaborating with this group based here in Chicago, and doing some strings for them at Coachella. So, yeah.
Can't hear you, Mary. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Hear me at all?
Okay, now I hear you. Yeah.
Back to Mr. Savion Washington. Can you describe your vocal group, Electric Soul? I remember you said that you guys were going to go back on the cruise ship. So can you describe your group and what music genres think of your group?
Yes, so we called Electric Soul. So clearly we do soul music, but we do in the descriptions when they bring us out on stage, they just talk about our show spans 60 years of music. So we we go from Motown to doing Bruno Mars and CeeLo Green, Frankie Valli. We do a lot of things. I mean, truly, we really do everything. Our particular show is obviously a little more Motown and soul and soul adjacent type music. But the 4 of us are all actually in theater, so theater and church and that kind of stuff. So that's at least the backgrounds of everyone, but then we get together and do that. So we all go up, we'll each have a song. I mean, we have a set, we have dances, we have, parts of the show, banter, and everybody takes turns being like the lead person, and the other 3 will do background vocals and background dancing and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we do.
Hey, Ms. Caitlin, the next question is yours. What is your vision for classical music in the 21st century?
That's a loaded question. My vision is that it will be more inclusive of Black and Brown composers, composers from all different communities and walks of life, and that also that it will be ingrained in the education system earlier on. I always tell the story about how when I was in college, they spent maybe 5 minutes talking about one Black composer, and that was William Grant Still. In the whole that thick music history book, just one composer. So I really hope that it will become diversified in that way, and also that more opportunities will be given so that more kids, more children have access to classical music training and everything that comes with it. So, yeah.
All right, and Mrs. Savion, can you share your experience of performing with the Radio City Music Hall Orchestra?
Oh yeah, that was really fun. I had done another gig in Jersey, recording with an orchestra, and one of the violinists there ended up calling me later, some other, after the fact, asking if I would be a sub for them for the Radio City Music Spectacular with the Rockettes. I think that's the full name. So you get all the music and have to learn it all. But the thing they didn't really tell you about specifically Radio City and that show is that it's not just show up to the pit and you go and you play. And this particular pit moves up and down, side to side. They've got fireworks, they've got all these things happening, they've got confetti flying down, and you're just supposed to go like, I'm just gonna play. So like my very first show, everybody's saying hello, and you're like, oh, welcome to the pit, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, great, I'm ready. I've practiced it at home with the click track. That's not necessarily the parts that we're playing right now, this kind of stuff. And you have to have an in-ear as well. So you're hearing them talk back and forth, and you're like, okay, lights up and go. And then the pit just like launches up and you just start playing. And then it's amazing because I've never played in the hall before. So it was my very first experience, was getting shot up through the pit and then looking out at the sea of people and the big shell and then all the fireworks and projections and all the stuff. And I'm supposed to just ignore all of that and keep playing. So that was quite interesting. And I did that a couple times, obviously, after the first one. Then you're like, okay, I know what to expect. But honestly, every single time it happens, you're never ready. Especially at the end of the show, you come back up, and then the whole thing, the whole pit with everybody on it, moves backwards to the back of the pit, or to the back of the stage. So you move out of the pit to the back of the stage, and then all the dancers come running around to dance and do the whole thing. And you're just and then they lift you up and then put you down again, and you lift you back up again. And they're like, yay, bye everybody, curtains down. And then you see all the dancers, they're like, yahoo, and then the curtain comes down and they just go, it's just done. So it's really funny. It was honestly really, really fun. So hopefully I get to do it again. And they also have 5 shows a day, which is crazy.
Oh my God, that sounds like quite an experience. Well, it's been my pleasure. It has absolutely been my pleasure to talk with both of you today, and especially to hear you all perform. I mean, this brought tears to my eyes. It's just so wonderful to see our Black artists. I mean, that's the beautiful part about this organization. We believe in lifting up Black artists, young Black artists, and you guys blew it out of the park. You blew it out of the park. Thank you so much. And now I will turn it over to Miss Osceola Davis. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mary. That was fantastic. I could have listened to that some more. when Savion was talking about his experience at Radio City Music Hall. I've been there many times and I've seen the orchestra come up and go to the back, but I've never heard it from someone on the inside. So
Exactly. Really, yeah, exactly.
thank you for giving us that bird's eye look on the other side of the curtain. The judges, they're still deliberating. One judge had a little difficulty getting into the breakout room because it's new for some of them. Like I said, this is our first time doing something like this, and they're used to being in person, and go off into another room and talk among themselves and then come out and announce it. So we have to keep going until they come back. So yes, we have to do something because they're not back yet. My question is, how do you all, Savion and Caitlin, how do you all really know each other? What have you really done together? What has been your musical connections?
Okay, Savion, was the first time we met was at Gateways? Okay. The first time we met was at Gateways Music Festival, and we were actually playing in a quartet together. So it was the highlight. It was my first Gateways, and still one of the highlights of my musical career, playing with Savion.
So, yeah, that's a wonderful organization.
I think
You're right.
The first time we actually spoke, it was after I went to EMF, to the Eastern Music Festival. I think you sent me a message because you were going to Gateways, which is after EMF. And you sent me a message. It's like, oh, did you study with Randy? with Randy. And I was like, yes. You're like, oh, yes. And so we talked because we also knew that we were going to be in a quartet together. So she reached out there, but then we played the Florence Price. Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, I think it's really kind of nice when an instrumentalist or performers kind of rendezvous with different performances, and that helps the atmosphere to be a little bit more relaxed because you know with whom you are performing, and it becomes like a family. I think the best part is when you're having rehearsals because you see each other all the time, and after the performance, everyone goes their own way. It's like the family breaks up. I think she asked you this, I'm not sure, but Caitlin, I'll start with you, and Savion, I'll ask you the same question. Is there a particular instructor that had a major influence on you, and why? What did they say, or what did they do that really kind of propelled you on to keep going? Caitlin?
I would say my grad school teacher here at DePaul, she really pulled me together. She taught me about organization and not just, organizing musically or violin wise, but just, organizing life wise. And these were skills that I could carry on into different facets of my life, and I'm still using them now, of course, and telling my students about it. So she was a very influential teacher, and she's a beautiful violinist as well.
Great. I know you have the wonderful memories. No matter how far in life you go, you'll always remember that special teacher that gave you that extra nudge. Sir Savion Washington. You're muted.
Yes. As soon as you asked the question, I knew exactly the person. It's also my grad school teacher, actually. I've loved all of my teachers have had wonderful influences on me, but Bela Keys is she's my violin grad school teacher from Boston University. She is just such a wonderful person. And it's almost, like this motherly figure in the way that she teaches, but she's super attentive. I remember the very first, I went to I had a lesson with her before I actually auditioned for BU. And I like drove 4 hours from New York to Boston, and it was like just ready, like got straight out of the car, went right to her office to then go and play some Bach or something. And I remember I played through it, and the whole time she like sits there very attentively, but she's also writing in her notebook without looking at it, by the way. She's just looking at everything. And then when I finished, she like just picked it up. She's like, okay, great, it's wonderful. So, and then she proceeds to write, like to read off everything that I've ever had, like every problem I've ever had with the piece and all these stuff, just from the very first pass. And then her solutions aren't just like, okay, do it this way, do it that way, do this, do that. She's asking more broad questions about technique. Is this angle right? Do you have problems with this? Do you have problems with that? And that was my very first session. I was like, wow, that's amazing. But I remember specifically a thing that she said to me. I remember I was very frustrated. I can really frustrate myself a lot. And I was just having so much difficulty trying to work on I forgot what I was working on, but I was working on a piece, but also working on the technique and stuff like that, and trying to like find time to practice both, like practice the piece, practice technique, and then I have orchestra, then I have this, and then I have that, and I think I came in kind of unprepared one lesson, but she just like, she was able to just like calm me down, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, this and that, and she just calmed me down, and she's, you know, basically just kind of instilled like, okay, you know, you don't have to do this way. Maybe you can work on this at this time, and then use this when you're working on the piece, and then do that, and like kind of organizing my way of practicing so that I'm not just feeling like I'm just hitting a wall all the time. And I remember specifically it was one that she said to me where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like doing all these different things, and she stopped. She said, okay, what do you want to do? She's like, I think where you are right now as a player, she says, if you want to play in an orchestra, if you want to go and do Broadway pit orchestra, if you want to go do this, if you know, these particular things that she was naming up, you know, recording. So she's like, I think you are a great enough violinist right now to just go and do all those things. And if that's what you want to do, that's what we can work on. But if you are trying to then do other things, you know, solo, do this, competition, whatever. She's like, then we're going to, you know, have to do more work. We're going to have to do more of this. We're going to have to do more of that. But it was a very pivotal moment for me, specifically just to hear like my teacher like tell me like, you are good enough right now. You know, because sometimes you just get so fixated on trying to get better and better and better, and you're never going to be great enough until you get to this particular moment or point. And she was like, no. You can do all of these other jobs here perfectly fine if you wanted to right now. You can leave the school and go do it. But if that's not what you want to do, or if you want to do other stuff, then we'll have to continue on. And so that was a very pivotal moment for me and inspiring for her.
It sounds like it, and I believe it. But what inspired you in the first place to even pick up the violin? How old were you? Were you 5 or 3?
No, I was not 3. I was like 10. I started, I think it's 5th grade. So I was about 9, 10 years old. And it was just like an elective course. They take you through all the different things. Here, you can play in band, you can play in orchestra, you can do cooking, you can do.
Was this in public school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful. So you chose the violin because of the way it looked, or what?
Truly, I chose the violin because everybody went to band, and I'm a contrarian by nature. Everybody wanted to play in band, and so everybody went off to do that and play percussion. And I was like, what's this orchestra thing? Like, this looks interesting. And then I just went off to play violin.
Kept going. Caitlin, what was your drawing card to the violin?
Yes, so when I was 8 years old in 3rd grade, my third grade teacher called our home and was like, hey, I think Caitlin would be a good fit for this class. There's this organization coming into local Birmingham public schools, elementary schools, offering free group lessons. And so I was excited because I could get out of whatever academic class I had during the time to, go learn music.
Excuses.
I know. And honestly, there would be times where I would be the only person out of maybe 15 kids in there, but it was fun. I was having fun with it. And my parents really saw that I dedicated myself to it, so they supported. And that's how I got started.
Well, once you started playing the violin, did you ever kind of wish maybe you had picked up another type of instrument? Or you were just hooked the moment you touched it?
It's funny you say that because in 5th grade, I actually used to play French horn for a couple of months. And the band teacher, he was like, oh, you can do this in school. But yeah,
Well,
I just stuck with violin.
I see Khadijah is back. Khadijah, have the judges made a decision?
Yes, they have.
Okay. Well, I guess that ends this particular segment of the program. We were just kind of ad-libbing. Can we have the judges on screen so we can talk to them and introduce them? And then hear what they have to say. Khadijah will tell us. The judges are
Right.
Um,
Closing the breakout room now, and they will be here in just a moment.
okay.
I have not announced anything yet.
No.
Are they aware of that?
No, right. Well,
Are the judges aware?
when they come, we will tell them the announcement has not been made. We just want to introduce them.
Yes.
Well, our conversation with the two artists was very interesting.
Yes, it was.
Very terrific.
Very.
When they come back, there he is. There's Ashley. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. No announcements have been made yet. We will talk to you all individually, introduce you, and then Khadijah will make the announcement.
Wonderful.
Okay. So is everyone back? Let me see. Let's get my screen straight so I can see what's going on. Okay. Yes, everyone is back. Okay, there we are. Well, I'm excited to see everyone here. I'm going to introduce the judges and have a little conversation with them so that the contestants will know who have been listening to them. Based on what they have sent me, I will do my best to share some of this information. I'll start with David Bennett, if you don't mind. Mr. Bennett, we are tickled pink to know, or purple or green, to know that you're with us today. And
David Burnett.
Excuse me, Burnett. Right,
It's okay.
thank you. And that changes the color to green.
How are you?
Fine, and you, fine.
Okay.
It's
It's
just
okay.
first of all, I mean, is there anything particular that I see here that you went to Oberlin and you went to BU, and I also see that you studied with someone by the name of Galina Heifetz. Any relation to the famous cousin?
Cousin.
Oh, well, how does that-
Alexander, unmute yourself.
Well,
Okay,
Alexander, I'll talk to Alexander later on because we know about Alexander. We're going to get there. Right. But were you familiar with Yasha Heifetz when you were working with Galina Heifetz?
No, well, I worked with her here in New York at Third Street School Music Settlement. But no, I never got a chance to meet the great Yasha.
Can you tell us a little bit about this West Village Quartet?
Funny enough, everybody in the screen has almost played with it.
But But you're the only one that put it on your resume, so
Savion,
they can give you their
Caitlin,
version when you
Ashley,
get there.
everybody has played with it.
It sounds very
I've had
impressive.
Yeah, well, I've had it. I put it together well over 30 years ago. Actually going close to 40 now, actually. And I
Wow.
did it while I was, yeah, it's over 40 years. And while I was at Oberlin, after I came out, then I started networking with different musicians and then put together a quartet. And we started playing in Grand Central and Penn Station initially. And that opened up huge doors because then we got the chance to play for a lot of different people. The Ford Foundation, Philip Morris hired us. We've been flown to different castles and things like that to play. The Mellon family flew us to some places to play for them, and Whoopi Goldberg even tried to have us, but unfortunately we were engaged somewhere else, so we had to turn her down. I felt really bad about that. But so over the years, we got a chance to do a lot of things. And then I used to produce concerts at the Ethical Culture Society. And we had a huge following, and we just travel a lot. We do school performances as well. And yeah, we've done quite a bit of things. Ashley played with us when we did the Beethoven Festival, which was great.
And a great review.
Yeah.
That's
but the
great.
wrong,
Yes. And the Times.
Yes.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that was
Well,
really good.
I see you're a road manager for Rodney
Marcellus,
Philadelphia. And anyway, you've heard two fantastic performers today, and if you need any more violinists for someone, you know where to look. Ashley, here we go. I like to say before I even start that Ashley is a former national winner for NAMM, National Association of Bigger Musicians. How did that feel when you were competing, Ashley?
Oh my God, it was terrifying. You know, there was no Sphinx competition when I was competing. I'm a little older than the founders of Sphinx. And so when I was competing, the NAMM competition, as far as people of color, was the only game in town. That was all there was. So it was a quite an honor that I cherish. It was a lot of fun. I still think back on that. I competed twice actually. First time I placed third. Second time I won the whole thing.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try
again.
And
absolutely.
You did it. Right. And you're principal violinist and soloist with the Harlem Chamber Players.
That's true. Tell
us something about that.
Oh my gosh, the Harlem Chamber Players.
Don't make it too long. I know there's a whole lot.
I know. But the thing is, it's about 16 years old, maybe going on 17 years. We started out very, very small, and we have just grown. In 2020, we had a budget of $250,000. In 2022, our budget was $750,000. So,
okay.
And so I have, and through this organization, I have a wonderful quartet. And we are just doing a bang up job. It's just really, really happy. And, I have to give a side note to David. David really opened up the quartet, and David Burnett really opened up quartet playing for me. Because with David's group, that was the first time that we'd actually been in I'd been in a professional string quartet. And so we worked, particularly for the Beethoven thing out in Long Island. I'll never forget that, because we were an hour and a half late for the concert. And we didn't mean to be that way, but I don't know if you guys know what it's like to go out to Long Island and you don't have any, this was long before GPS, And
Got stuck in traffic and we
got
couldn't do
stuck
it.
in traffic. And Long Island is an absolute no. You know, you want to talk about, they talk about Los Angeles traffic. Go to Long Island and then you will understand what traffic is all about.
That sounds like it was a high point of your experience.
Well, but the thing is, we played the you know, again, I have to make a shout out to David, but the Harlem Chamber Players is a collective of musicians, both Black and white and Asian, and we play music primarily, but not exclusive, of music of people who are underrepresented. So we do lots of music for black composers.
Right,
We do Asian composers, women composers. We are doing the Leon Essentia, which is an absolute bear of a quartet.
Good.
So anyway, those are the things that we do. That's what I do.
Okay, good. I know I've been to some of your concerts and they're fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Alexander, hi.
You want to unmute yourself, Alexander?
Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself.
Unmute. Okay.
There you
go.
are. They can hear you. You can hear us. Good to hear you. Right. Well, Alex started, according to he started playing when he was 5 years old. Yes. You started playing the violin, Alex, right?
I started to play violin before you started to sing.
I wouldn't say that. I was about 5. I was preschool, pre-kindergarten.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So we started about the same time.
Wonderful.
Now let's tell us about your experience with studying with Jascha Heifetz.
Well, I spent it around 3 years studying with him in LA. Yeah. Well, it's a great, for me, it was pretty easy. Why? Because the way I was educated, it's very close what he demanded.
Well, what did he demand? What did he say that really, really stuck with you?
Well, one of the most important thing I catch from Mr. Heifetz, way of phrasing, the way you approach the music. Because I knew how to play violin, more or less, you know, and he knew that I know, you know. So the whole thing was continuing and getting deeper into musical lines, you know. He told me, never repeat the same phrase the same way. Always find a way, different fingers, different bowings, different approach, everything, you know. A lot of, and his personal example, he couldn't play for more than 2-3 minutes because his shoulder was after the surgery. So somebody had to hold his bow arm, you know, so he could lift it up, you know.
Yeah.
But it was still a grip of a lion, you know.
Okay.
It was 82, 83, he could still show up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's really exciting talking to you because you mentioned you have worked with one of my favorite violinists and you've studied with them. So thank you. Thank you for coming today.
Of course, I'm happy to do it and be with wonderful company of wonderful musicians, you know.
Great. A new connection.
Yeah.
And then we have Booker Rowe. He's I know Booker from back when even before he joined the Philly Orchestra. In fact, I'm going to say a little bit that when Eugene Ormandy hired him, he made the 6 o'clock news. The first Afro-American to join the Philadelphia Orchestra, and there he's standing in front of the camera talking. He probably doesn't remember that because he was so up and excited. But tell us about that, Booker, when you first joined, when Mr. Ormandy asked you to join the orchestra.
Well, I guess there are several sides to it, but I was at the time working as a freelancer in New York City. And I did everything from Broadway to chamber music. Chamber music with, who was the second violinist of the Juilliard Quartet at the time? I forget. And
I can't tell you.
I would recognize it anyway, got to play with him. And I got this phone call from the personnel manager from the Philadelphia Orchestra. That was Mason Jones. He was the first hornist of the orchestra. He was like wore many hats because he was also assistant conductor at times and representative of the union, representative of the orchestra, et cetera, et cetera. He called and asked me to come and play with them because one of their violinists had passed away. And I remember when I did go, the day I went, for some reason I was late to the rehearsal. I don't even remember why. It was a connections, traveling. And I got to backstage and they were
Someone's dog is barking.
oh yeah, little canine figure. I got backstage and they stopped playing and I heard Ormandy talking and then the orchestra started laughing. That's not the point. When I did get on stage and got to start playing, I was sitting in the very back. It was an amazing sound. It was like stereo all around me of beautiful sounds.
Oh,
I had never heard sounds like that up close like that. I grew up in Philly, so I heard the beautiful sounds of the Philly Orchestra, the heritage of Stokowski, and the present desires of Ormandy. And later, by the way, Ormandy revealed what was at the base of his sound. When I was at Tanglewood, he came as a guest conductor and we were playing the Beethoven Fifth Symphony. He stopped us at one point and he said, "You think that the Philadelphia Orchestra has a sound of its own? I'll show you exactly what is at the base of that." What he said was, he asked the basses to play more. He asked the basses and cellos, that's the lower part of the orchestra, and the violas. He began to stretch the phrases. It was like pulling taffy. It was like this, across the bar lines. So that the music went that way, not this way, but across the bar lines, continuously. And just from those two things, all of a sudden we had this late 19th century sound production that was famous for the Philly Orchestra at that time. And Ormandy was responsible for that. But that's not just those two things. He also did a lot of doublings in the string, in the woodwinds, the brasses, a lot of doublings. So that was at the base of the Philadelphia sound. And
Booker,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, were you talking about Isidore Cohen?
Yes.
You asked who the second violinist was.
Isidore Cohen. Isidore Cohen, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been so long since I thought his name. Yeah.
well, thank you. Thank you so much, each one of you, for introducing yourself and saying something. Now they have an idea who is listening to them play. I will turn this back over to Khadijah to announce the winners. But after she gives the announcement, I will ask each judge to just kind of give some type of encouraging comment to the young artists that you heard, that they can carry on from their experience today. So Khadijah, please.
Yes, I am delighted to have been a part of the Thomas Music Study Club's 2023 Music Scholarship Competition. Both of our contestants worked so very hard and gave a fabulous performance. It is now our pleasure to announce the second place winner of the Thomas Music Study Club's 2023 Music Scholarship Competition and recipient of $1,500. The second place winner is
drum roll.
Savion Washington. It's also now our pleasure to announce the first place winner of the Thomas Music Study Club's 2023 Music Scholarship Competition and recipient of $2,000, Caitlin Edwards. Congratulations to both of you.
Oh, welcome to both.
So I'll call on you according to the way I see you on my screen, whatever comment or anything you wish to make to both of them individually. I'll start with Booker because you're first on my screen.
Oh, I was very impressed with both of you. I think that you both have a lot of talent. Caitlin, I think that your performance was absolutely peerless. And I've heard other performances of the same work. And I think that you did a tremendous job of making some music out of them. And now in Sauvignon, I'm sorry that you have had the shoulder problem. I don't know which shoulder, but it doesn't matter. And I would really love to have heard you play under normal physical conditions. I think you have a lot of talent, and I want to see you in the future go a long way.
Okay, David Burnett. And I apologize for getting your name wrong before. Please forgive me.
It's okay. It's all right. Just think of Carol Burnett. I'm just joking.
That's all right.
You both played well, and I want to congratulate both of you. I think we'll definitely be hearing and seeing a lot of both of you in the future, and I hope that you will continue to strive forward, especially now that as time goes on, I find that there's more opportunities for you all, which is great, versus back when I was younger. Me and Ashley, we were trailblazers, so to speak, trying to make things happen, and now there's much more opportunities, which is great. And so I hope that you will continue to endeavor and search out all of those opportunities so that you can make your mark, and then others then come after you will be able to continue as well. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you. Next is Ashley.
Hey there to both of you, my friends, both of you. I know the mother and child like the back of my hand. It's just it's a lovely, wonderful piece. Keep working on it, Savion. It'll pay great dividends. I've recorded it. They play my recording, at least my cadenza of it, on the radio. It's just a lovely piece of music. And the Corn Gold, I've heard you play snippets of it over the time period, and I think that you are playing it well. I think that you're playing it a little too slow. And the thing is that it's wicked when it gets fast, and we all know that. But I think it's a tiny bit slow. But you are playing it really well. I think that Corn Gold is a very difficult piece to pull off in a competition because of the extended tonalities. And it makes it very hard to think about that. Now, Caitlin, boy, have we done some great work over the last few years. I am so happy to hear you now. I am so happy. I love what I hear right now. I miss hearing the blues forms because I want to hear what you did with it. Caitlin played for me a number of years ago in Los Angeles. We were recording The Lion King during that time period. You have made great strides, great strides. Your intonation is more solid. The instrument that you got, boy, that's a real winner. That's a real winner. I don't know what it is. I don't care. It's a real winner. The sound it just comes through, even through the microphone. It's really great, and it's helped. And it looks like it's easy for you to play, and it's just doing marvelous things for you. So that's basically it. I love the first piece that you played. The sonata is wonderful. Not so much in the solo piece, but you play it well, and that's what's important. That's what's important.
Thank you. Alexander?
Yes. Well, I enjoyed very much both of them, Savion and the Caitlin. I think you've just finished your competition, but there is a much more difficult competition to compete every day with oneself, to get better tomorrow than you were yesterday. So that's the most important thing. Don't try to outplay somebody else. Be yourself. Try to find your own path, your own phrasing, your own way of sound, and you will benefit from that. Because if you constantly looking or listening to other recordings or anything else, you lose yourself in the way, So continue what you do. You are, I think, on the right path, and you will do. I wish you wonderful, wonderful, wonderful progress and great future. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, all of you, for participating today. And with that, we will close our competition for 2023 in the category of strings. I'd like to thank everybody who worked with us on this project. And I will call out their names because they have been just a big help. Khadijah Evans-Bay, Mary Hines, Linda Twine, Brandon Boyd, Chad Hammonds, Ashley Holm, Alexander Mishabowski, David Burnett, and Booker Rowe. I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart on the sake of the Thomas Music Study Club for sharing this moment, and hopefully our paths will cross again very soon musically. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, much success. And Caitlin will be in touch with you, and the judges will be in touch with you. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
So
I don't know how to shut it off. I'll be with you until next year.
that we love you, Booker. Oh, yes, we do.
Remember back on some of those times when we had together with you and your brothers and sister.
They were fun times.
Yeah.
I remember, let me just share this little bit with who was, it's just us here, right, Chad? Chad, it's just us here, right?
There are the 6 of us here. Yes.
Right, good. But then I'll tell this little story. He's almost like a brother to me. We would get together every Christmas at my grandmother's house, and everybody would do their little thing. A Booker came along with his violin too. And one year we would give Christmas presents to everybody. And of course, we gave Booker his Christmas present, which was a red bow tie, a red handkerchief, and red socks. Remember that?
Yeah, I'm afraid I do.
See, I'm telling on you. And we had fun. He was just like part of the family. And so we were very excited to see his success and his career. And I'm tickled pink to know that I know such an accomplished individual. So okay.
And when Marcy and I, when your brother Marcy and I got together, he was like Mr. Debonair. And I forget what I was called, but anyway.
Debonair's brother. When I told my brother Marcy that you were one of the judges, he said, "Oh, Mr. Sharpie, huh?"
Yeah.
Alex, exactly how do you pronounce your last name? Mishabowski?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, I
Wonderful.
got it right. Okay.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay, so we're finished. Booker, I guess in the bottom right, you should see the word in red, leave.
Yes, I see that. But
If you
before I leave, I'd like to talk with Alexander Mishabowski
Mhm.
at some
Yes.
point. Yeah. I want to talk to you about your background and your time with Heifetz and all that.
Yes, please.
Is there some way I can contact you?
Yes.
I'll give you his information, okay?
Okay,
I'll email it to you, okay? Is
Okay.
that okay, Alex? I'll give him your phone number and your email,
Yeah.
okay? Okay,
all right. Thank
unless you want to give it to him now, it's okay. I mean, I was just,
Yeah. You have my email in my phone number. Yeah.
yes, I have it, right, I
So
can.
you can give it to whoever is.
Okay, Booker,
Okay.
right.
All right.
Okay.
terrific. Thank you.
And you can listen to me on. I have plenty of records, on the internet.
Well, I'll do that. I've
Yes.
just begun to.
Dial my name first and last, and that's it.
Okay, that sounds terrific.
Yeah. With the
Started when you were 5 years
piano
old.
solo. Thank you. Thank you. I hope to be in touch with you.
All right,
Stay. Thank you so much.
and I'll talk with you, Osceola.
Yes.
Okay, sure, okay,
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
bye-bye. So Booker, to leave, you click the word,
Here
you
it
see the
is.
red box to the right, is you click it, it says leave.
Yes, it does.
And then another one pops up, leave meeting, and
Okay,
you click that, and then bingo.
yeah. You know what? I may be ancient, but I'm not so ancient. I can't see this.
Good.
Asola. So I will, Asola. I
Yeah.
will fill out and send you
Yes,
forms.
yes, fill it out and send it to me, Booker, yeah, fill it out and send it to me, and
Thank
then I can send it into where it's supposed to go, so just get it back to me, but carry a pigeon if you have to, but just,
For sure. Stay well and healthy.
thank you, you too, take
Thank
it,
you.
thank you, Khadijah, thank you, Chad, so
Thank
much, thank you for your patience, we called that guy, and he was always so calm, really, we were.
So welcome.
Everyone stay well.
Yeah, okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye, Mary.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.